All right, we're back this week. Skipped last week due to this post because it's supposed to be a lot longer of a post, but I'm going to split it up into multiple weeks and segments because I already have a lot of information just on this one topic.
Intricate when it has the words deep dive in the title. So let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear the deep dive that you got on this thing.
So this week we have the hidden dangers of processed foods, and it's a deep dive into DNA and gut health. I will go deeper into the actual whole foods and more processed foods and like what they're like certain ingredients in processed foods and what they do in next week's or the following weeks, and the whole foods, what whole foods are good for what time, etc. And basically be focusing on more diet stuff and food stuff that we ingest because we just buy stuff off the grocery store shelf and don't even know we're putting in our system because it just looks good.
Why is it bad? Because you told me this was going to be the topic of today's podcast, right? You were like, "Yo, do your research. We're talking about all the processed food that everyone eats in their daily diet." So I did my research. I went to Subway. I got cheesesteak with mozzarella, the real mozzarella, and a bunch of sauces that were definitely made with artificial chemicals. However, it tasted delicious, and dare I say, it tasted better than a lot of cheesesteaks do around here in Pennsylvania.
Well,
That Jews made with natural cheese and regular steak. So I'd love to hear your theory on why this is so evil.
So it's destroying our DNA in ways that we just found out recently, and recent studies have come out, and messing up our gut health, gut biome, they call it. And basically, first, before we even get into any of this stuff, we gotta understand what processed foods is. The soda we drink, like the cheesesteak you had, yes, some of the stuff was processed on it, like the sauces, and the meats were processed too, preservatives on them. But at the end of the day, you're still having some nutrition in that Subway sandwich with the meats and the bread that you had. But again, there are still preservatives in them, and that make them bad. But I'm more, yeah, they make them last.
It might be healthy for you, but at the end of the day, you gotta pick your battles. How bad could this actually be for society?
Well, the first statistic that I found is 90% of all of our sugar intake is from all processed foods.
Okay, and it's sugar. Doesn't matter what type of sugar you're eating, it's gonna be unhealthy either way. I know, because I hate when people do this with sugar. They like to say, "Oh, well, you should have cane sugar. You should have all natural sugar." It's just as bad as artificial sweeteners. It's just as bad as artificial sugar. Sugar is terrible for you, whether you get it from honey or whether you get it from, I don't know, Kool-Aid flavored drinks. It's not good for the human body in large amounts because you get the most sugar you need to function in the human body in your normal diet. So why
Without processed foods?
Without processed food, even with processed food, but what I'm trying to say is like you're trying to make the argument, oh, processed sugar is so bad. All sugar is bad. So
I'm not saying all processed sugar is bad, Nick.
all sugar is bad.
Well, yeah, at a certain amount. I'm saying that 90% of our sugar intake, this is the main point. This is not even the main point of this whole entire conversation. I just said a statistic of 90% of our sugar intake is from processed foods. Wonder why your Subway sandwich tastes so well. Well, this also links to obesity, heart disease, cancer, and basically they lead to weight gain and they disrupt your balance in the gut microbiome. And they also cause inflammation to the body, which could lead to chronic diseases as well.
Like what? Like cancer and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, okay, here's my comment on that little piece here. Every food could do that. If you sit around all day, you don't exercise, you're not very active like at all, and you're just eating oranges, you're eating hella salad.
Well, yeah, oranges. If you eat oranges, here's a fun fact: if you eat oranges with nothing else, you'll get chronic pain, like you'll get stomach ache because you're supposed to. This is next week's topic, but like or a future topic, but like you're supposed to eat oranges after your meal or with your meal because they help with digestion as well.
Well, not even orange. I mean, like anything, for example, pineapple, any type of fruit that is seen as healthy, any type of like vegetable, even you eat too much, you're going to get fat.
Yes, I don't disagree with you, Nick.
So I think it's more on the human than it is on these processed foods. But go on, keep continuing.
All right, man. But basically, fast foods have been linked to DNA damage.
DNA damage. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. We got some ugly motherfuckers coming out, and we had a generation of people that was raised on processed food now having kids. So that doesn't surprise me.
Probably why people have cancer more these days, more autism rate, everything like that.
Natural selection, man. Like, if you're gonna go around and eat McDonald's for breakfast and then like stupid ass meal from Chick-fil-A for lunch, and then for dinner you order takeout from some Chinese place or something, you get like extra side sauce and toppings, then yeah, you're gonna die sooner, you're gonna be more likely to have cancer, right? These foods are not healthy for you, but they're not really billed as healthy, they're billed as delicious, and they are delicious, but you're supposed to treat yourself to these things and use them in moderation. Or if you are going to do them frequently, like someone like me does, you have to work out, you have to exercise, you have to make yourself, healthy. There's ways to counteract these effects. It isn't like it's poison in your body.
There's working out does not counteract these effects.
It doesn't? No.
When your DNA gets damaged, working out will help. Don't get me wrong, help you digest the food and get the food out of your system faster and all these harmful chemicals you put in them. But when you're damaging your DNA, you're basically, think of it as like a ladder, and then you twist the ladder. You know what DNA looks like, right? Mm-hmm. But basically, you, like one of the things you step on, like as a ladder, in the ladder, like one of the steps in the ladder, you step on and you break it and you rearrange it. For example, you rearrange, I'll use a skin example. So your skin is made to protect you from the environment, but these chemicals and these preservatives and all the stuff we put in these processed foods interact with our DNA, and it would interact with our DNA, for example, by changing our skin to actually be more prone to these harmful environment.
If it changes the DNA, what way? Like you get superpowers or some shit.
Probably could too. You probably could do it that way, but it's
not going to happen through processed foods.
Not going to happen through processed foods.
Wait.
And then more damaged DNA is like, it's not good, because this is what actually causes the cancer and all these diseases, sickness, illnesses, and whole foods actually repair our DNA. They bring in antioxidants that actually come in and they help repair.
What foods? Why don't you tell me?
Any whole food. Any whole food. Every whole food has their difference of purpose and repair different strains of DNA or strands of DNA that are damaged. I'll go more into that later on. But again, all these whole foods have, do wonders.
They do wonders. Well, the way you're making it sound is, before you said there's no way to counteract it, now you say you just eat some whole foods. So you could live a healthy lifestyle and still treat yourself to some processed food on the side.
I think in moderation, in much more moderation. And
it doesn't even have to be much more moderation. It can be an entire diet, and you can't just sit around all day like a fat fuck.
Well, the thing is too, like, say for example, you eat McDonald's maybe once a month or something, right? Mm-hmm. But you eat that McDonald's once a month for 60 years. That 60 years still builds up. One little thing you do could affect you down the road X amount of years. Right, granted, again, in moderation, it's okay, but at a certain degree it's okay. It's the degree you want to live at. If you want to take that risk and eat this stuff, that's on you.
I mean, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think that people are going to destroy their DNA. People are going to destroy their DNA anyway. So, yes, it could be the diet that's a contributor. It could also be, a smoking habit or something else along those lines. So, I just think in a true nation with freedom I think, should regulate certain foods more to make sure they're really not like poisonous, like we do. But at the end of the day, if it's gonna make them taste worse, then fuck it. I don't want people regulating my food. I'll regulate how much of it I eat.
Well, this goes back to all these new diseases that pop up, the 1 in a million, and you know, we tried
Like the Stoneman syndrome. We start not Stoneman. What is it? Tree man syndrome, where your hands start turning into like fucking tree branches and.
No, I'm saying you get all these 1 in a million diseases that, oh, I got this special disease from X, Y, and Z, but I don't know how exactly I got it. This is what contributes to it.
They don't know exactly how they got it. Sounds like they don't know that this contributes to it completely. Anyway, continue on to your next little tangent. I'm cooking today. Oh, yeah, for real.
Yeah, but this can also lead to mutations in our DNA as well.
Well, mutations are never.
Right? If we mutated enough, like you.
But how does it do that? I don't get it. Like, how does this end up fucking with the DNA?
Because these chemicals that they use and all this, if you look at the processed stuff, look at the back of the box or whatever it is. Look at the ingredients. They're all chemicals. Half the time you can't even read them. You only know how to read the name. And they're finding out these chemicals interact with our DNA strands. I have a list in here. There's research papers out there. But they literally react with our DNA strands, and they basically rearrange them or mutate them or destroy them. And
but like, it's the DNA mutation a really big thing. So if it happens once, you're fucked, right?
Yeah, DNA mutations are bad.
So like, if it's constantly doing this, how come it hasn't happened to me yet? Because I eat a lot of processed shit.
Because you're a kid and your body could adjust around it for now, but then when you get older,
shaping up your diet, like I've been saying.
No, when you get older, when you're the age of 30 and you could still do this, you might develop cancer at the age of 40 then. I don't know. This stuff hasn't been around that long. It has been around for so many years, but we see all these diseases and all these cancers, and we wonder why all this stuff happens. It starts with the diet. It starts with what we put in our system.
It does.
And we make these other drugs that try to counteract it, but those other drugs, this is another side tangent. Yeah, there's all these side effects.
That's something I 100% agree with you on. But like, no one, you take the food industry and regulate it well, and you haven't seen the medical.
Yeah, but that's my point. It all boils down to, this is the root of the cause of most of the illnesses and the diseases we're seeing these days that we never seen before.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It all starts with all these foods we're putting in our system, and then, we try to take drug to, counteract it, and then drug messes up other parts. And even our gut does not have enough diversity anymore, enough fiber to actually process all this stuff, so it leads to overweight. It leads to chronic problems, it leads to stuff like that, and that's where the chronic problems come in, and obesity. America.
Yeah, I mean, that's understand why our obesity rate's so high. Like I said, you got to balance your diet. You got to live a good lifestyle. I think that you're going to scare a lot of people that don't need to be scared if everyone just starts saying, oh, yeah, all this processed shit fucks with your DNA.
That it even includes our whole foods that we find in our supermarkets, too.
Exactly. What is it? So there we go. Well, I'm trying to say...
The thing is, we got to go you got to go pretty much buy from the farmer's market, and we got to figure out new solutions as a society.
What do you think? Do you have any ideas?
Big idea. There needs to be something out there so we could find ways to connect with our local farmers to actually find our meats, our produce, and then even grow your own produce, create a greenhouse, grow your own produce all year round, and you have your own, again, produce, and then you find
About urban communities, how are they going to grow their own produce?
there's starting to become solutions out there like vertical farming. It's weird. It's new. Um,
What is it?
literally as the name suggests. Like Minecraft, like where you just stack the farms out on each other
They're doing that.
in real life.
Let's do like community greenhouses and shit.
They could do that too. But also
There's a lot of wasted land in cities in America.
this is another thing too. Like you'd also like that would also promote community interaction, getting to know your neighbors, trading coming back, farming animals, and then eating the local meats. Because this is also another thing I want to get into, but not today's topic. But like the meats you eat don't have all these microorganisms in them and all that native to your area. But if you eat all these microorganisms in your area, you'll be more, yeah. They have all these microorganisms in them.
Yeah, I know that, but in your area, you'll be more what? Go on, finish your point. If you eat them all, if you eat meat from your area, they all these microorganisms are from your area, and they're gonna do what?
To help prevent disease more, because you'll be more used to the diseases that start at a micro level and might extend to a macro level one day.
Food. At that point with microorganisms.
Exactly. That is my point. So we're eating avocados from the middle of Mexico. What's that going to do for us with microorganisms? Yes, it'll give us more diversity in our gut and stuff like that. And there's obviously nutrition benefits in avocados, but
you just said it. You literally just said it. It's going to give gut diversity. It's going to counteract all these things. Like, if you only eat local food, you only have these microorganisms. If you travel somewhere and there's like a disease going around,
yeah, fuck, that is true.
So, I mean, that's important as well, to eat foods that's not just from your area. I think it's more that it's natural, not that it's from your area, that's important. I think you're getting misconstrued there.
I would agree with you on that. I did a little. Yeah.
All right, so what else you gotta say?
There's also all this in a blog post more in detail with all the technical terms, just more of like a higher overview. But they found this one enzyme that Whole Foods can repair DNA. They're one of these enzymes, and the DNA repair protein OGG1 has been shown to play a crucial role in helping the mitochondria and basically your whole body energy level. So when you actually eat these whole foods, it activates this kind of enzyme. Don't quote me, I'm not a full-on scientist. I'm just a research person that likes to view these topics. Please read the papers if you have problems with these findings and comment on these posts. But they found that these processed foods don't activate these certain enzymes and these certain...
Your body misses out on some functions.
Yes. And one of them is energy levels.
That makes a lot of sense. So once you're tired or once you're sleeping, so then a lot of people, when they get sleepy, they actually get hungry. So they eat more. It wakes them up again.
Yeah, so you wake up.
The reason why a lot of this shit's like this, too. I think it's helpful for people to know this. However, I don't think they should be scared of this information, because it is something that you could control. It's not something that... So we're not like in some communist dystopia where everything's being forced down your throat.
Yeah.
We still have freedom in this country.
We still have...
You just gotta know what is going on, so you're not being taken advantage.
And again, we got to support the farmers, as Bush says. But that...
Bush is definitely doing that. It's a large corporation.
No,
it was so funny. Everyone boycotting Bud Light, and then they said, let's drink Bush instead, but they're owned by the same company.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, It's not another example of people just not knowing things and not being able to effectively do what they want to do.
And again, support the farmers, support your local farmers markets, because a lot of them I know are going out of business pretty much because the older generations were the big fans of these farmers markets, and you don't see a lot of kids at them. I go to them, and there are not a lot of kids. Luckily, at Penn State, we have one, and it's actually promoting that, and they do very good business down there. I will say that the farmers are doing good down there.
And I'll give that Penn State's got a good farm program, but it's also a cult.
That's a whole different story.
I got a whole nother story I want to get off after you're done with this little topic, but go ahead.
So, again, yeah, house I just
You done? Wait.
I'm going to gut a little bit more. The gut again is a community of microorganisms that live in our intestines, and they play a huge, crucial role in our health. And they help digest the food. I know they help digest food, regulate our immune system, protect against other bacteria that cause diseases, and big one is help produce vitamins for our body naturally. Yes, that's a big one, because we take all these supplement vitamins, but there's some studies coming out. Please don't quote me, because I'm still reading into this more. But you know how we take these pill vitamins, and right?
Yeah.
You take your
vitamins, the one a day, shit like that.
Yes, it's a placebo. They might help.
Ain't no placebo. I figure it will grow like a bitch when I'm taking them things consistently.
I'm saying to an extent. To an extent they help, and to an extent they don't.
They really don't do more. You're right.
There's some side effects with them now that are coming out as well, and
they make you fat. You eat too many of them things, they make you fat.
Well, yeah, that will definitely happen.
What are some other side effects though?
Of the vitamins that you take that are processed. Well, you're not eating. You're not, like, your body's getting in shock because you're not actually
taking the vitamins naturally.
Yeah, more and less. You're not letting your body produce the vitamins naturally in your body. You're just kind of like shocking your system at a high. This is a higher level. Granted, higher level I mean is like high level overview. We're not in depth explaining it right now.
So, with overview, then a high level overview would be a more in depth thing. Well, you really need to grasp that English language a little better.
Yeah. They also found some studies that links to neuroinflammation with neural dysfunction, which basically means
brain, right?
Yes.
Yeah, every time I hear neuro, I just know brain, thanks to 7th grade science class in Latin roots. But
memory.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, how many smart fat people do you know? All these like CEOs and shit, these billionaires, these smartest people you know, are any of those fucking obese whales? And there's a lot of whales in America, right? So you think at least some of these motherfuckers gotta be like, no, not a lot of them are. So it keeps their bodies right and that keeps their mind right.
Yeah. The biggest one too I saw in this was depression.
Let's take to like fat phobia, bro. Fat phobia is a thing. It could be healthy, bro. If you got, all right, I'm starting a whole nother discussion, but you go on with what you would say. Yeah, I'm fat phobic. Like, ew, but I want to die at the age of 50. Crazy.
That's pretty much it. Just one little side point. Like, if you consume different types of food, like processed food versus whole foods, you're ingesting certain bacteria and decreasing other bacteria in your gut. And again, that will lead to your body being in a disbalance. So that also might be why we see some bacterial diseases as well. And pretty much, if transitioning to a whole food diet, especially if you're eating a lot of processed foods, it could be a shock to your body at first. You might feel a lot better, but just ease into it, honestly. Because your body's used to all these processed foods at one point. But I would just ease into a whole foods diet if you want to go that direction, or shock your body, whatever you want to do. You just gotta. Well, yeah, we do. That's pretty much it. Just take care of yourself and support your body's natural repairing techniques and do what your body says, pretty much, as well. But don't eat 20 McDonald's hamburgers.
Keep the fast food to a minimum. That's very processed.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I want to get off if you're done. Are you done?
Yeah.
All right. So before I say this, I want to make it very clear that I am pro-union and everything, right? Like, I am all for unions. I'm all for organizing labor and getting what you're worth as, employees. What would you say you were to, Nathan?
Right? A farmer union.
Yeah, we do need to be farmer. I think there is a farmers union, but like stuff like that should be unionized because of specialized skills and shit like that. But you gotta draw the line somewhere, right? So have you been keeping up with the news recently? Have you seen this bullshit? No. Have you seen this fucking horse shit? Starbucks baristas are trying to unionize. You get the hell out of here with that bullshit. Come on, man. The fry cooks at McDonald's are not unionizing. The workers at Chick-fil-A are not unionized. You want to know why? Because their job could be done by any teenager in fucking America. Just like Starbucks employees. Like, here's the thing, right? You're plumber, right? That's a very specific skill. I can't find some 15-year-old, 17-year-old and have them fix my sink. So they should be unionized. They should be getting what they're worth. Even you want to go in the entertainment industry. Writers, to a certain extent, even though they suck now. The basketball players, NFL players, they're unionized. They should be getting what they're worth. They're not easily replaced.
Farmers are not easily replaced.
They should be unionized as well. But bro, come on now. Like the Starbucks baristas.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Do you actually think that there's any argument that they should have a union?
They should not have
fucking demands. Listen to these goddamn demands that they have. $20 an hour starting, goes up every year. Full health and dental coverage, and 401k retirement. Dude, it's not a career. You're a Starbucks barista.
A robot will take over that job.
You're a moron. They don't look at. I'm just saying, and that's what they're scared of. They're scared of AI and shit. They're good. You should be scared of AI. They should be replacing jobs like you. Push people like you to get further in life. It's gonna make people too complacent. And another bad thing is if you start diluting unions, then these CEO companies are gonna be looking towards more AI, and they're gonna be replacing humans with AI quicker. The Writers Guild of America, they're finding that out right now. Like they're realizing they have one of their demands they had to pull it out was they want AI regulated in the writing industry. And there's no way the CEOs of the entertainment are gonna do that. In fact, what they're doing right now is probably gonna push them to do that more. But writers, they deserve to have a union, Hollywood writers. They're talented, they're not easily replaced. But like Starbucks baristas,
you fine tune a large language model to a Hollywood style writer, and you tell the artificial intelligence or the large language model to write you X, Y, and Z script. It could replicate a script to that degree. I would say they have the capabilities right now, but publicly, probably in about less than a year.
Okay, you not miss my point though. Can you do that though? Can you go be on a writer's board for a season of I don't know, it's the Succession on HBO? No, you can't because you're that talented enough. You could go into Starbucks and do the barista job, no problem, right? So y'all deserve a fucking union. We can't be diluting unions because then that's gonna push people to use AI further, and it's gonna make a lot of these jobs obsolete. So certain people, teachers, lawyers, athletes, farmers, plumbers, trades, all the shits, it's good that they're unionized. However, bro, you gotta draw the line somewhere. Starbucks employees really
on a rant.
Really, the baristas, about the guys that make the sandwich. I don't care for the last 10 minutes. I will keep on going. You don't know how much this has pissed me off seeing this recently. People just want everything handed to them nowadays. Anyone could do your job, bro. Anyone could do your job. Go to college. Go to
Sound like dad.
school to be a
Sound like
fucking barista. But
college is a scam.
Nathan, if you work as a under these new guidelines, you work as a barista 20 years, you're gonna be making like $40 an hour, full dental, full medical, full everything covered for you, and you got your 401k going.
All right.
Motherfucker, you retired at the age of 55 as a barista. That shouldn't be allowed. I'm sorry. It just shouldn't. And it's not going to be because Starbucks hasn't even entertained these discussions yet. And I hope they stay that way because this is ridiculous.
All right. Nice rant.
That's it. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Hope you enjoyed Nikki's rant for the last 10 minutes, 9 minutes, maybe.